Three reasons Joe Biden will never be president. Hello and welcome back to TST. If you are new to the channel, tap on the subscription button and press the notification bell so you can receive news and updates that you can rely on daily. Joe Biden was sworn into the US Senate on January 3, 1973. He remained in the Senate until January 15, 2009, a span of 36 years. If history is any guide, that alone is a disqualifier in Biden's quest for the White House. What does 36 years in the Senate say about a politician? It says he is a senator, not a president. So the first reason Biden will not become president is that no one who served 36 years in the Senate has ever become president. No one who served 30 years in the Senate has ever become president. No one who served 25 years in the Senate has ever become president. No one who served 20 years in the Senate has ever become president. Lastly, no one who served 15 years in the Senate has ever become president. It's not for lack of trying. Bob Dole, who was sworn into the Senate on January 3, 1969, ran for president 27 years later in 1996. He quit the Senate during the campaign to show his determination to become president. But his long years in the Senate, plus his age, he was 73 at the time, and the subject of endless suggestions that he was too old to be president, were a deal killer for voters. Others tried. Others tried too. In 2008, John McCain ran for president after 21 years in the Senate. It didn't work. In 2004, John Kerry ran for president after 19 years in the Senate. That didn't work either. A long career in the Senate is simply not a foundation for a successful run for the White House. The most recent political figure to realize that was Barack Obama, who was sworn into the Senate in 2005 and 2 years later was running for the presidency and to get out of the Senate. Okay, put aside the Senate, Biden supporters would say. What about his 8 years as vice president? Certainly, that could be the basis for a successful presidential run. But the second reason Biden will not become president is that the record of vice presidents on that score is not encouraging. 14 vice presidents have become president. Of those, 8 became president upon the death of the president. Of that group, some were later elected to the White House, but they were running for the office as the sitting president. Others, like George H.W. Bush, became president by running to succeed the president they served. They ran for president as the sitting vice president. When Bush did that in 1988, it had not been done since 1836. It has not been done since. In any event, that is not Biden's situation. He served 8 years as vice president but did not run to succeed President Barack Obama. Now, he is running as a private citizen. Only one president has gone from the vice presidency to private life and then to the presidency. Richard Nixon served as vice president in the 1950s, narrowly lost the 1960 presidential election, and then came back to win the presidency in 1968. That is Biden's hope, that a vice president can leave office and then, after a period outside government, return to win the White House. Perhaps. But Nixon, who spent less than three years in the Senate, became vice president a few days after turning 40 and was sworn in as president at 56, more than 2 decades younger than Biden, who will be 78 on Inauguration Day 2021. Finally, the third reason Biden will not be president is the 14-year rule. The idea of former George W. Bush speechwriter John McConnell and popularized writer Jonathan Rauch, it basically says that politicians have a strict sell-by date. No one gets elected president who needs longer than 14 years to get from his or her first gubernatorial or Senate victory to either the presidency or the vice presidency, Rauch wrote. That has been true for a century. Biden didn't even get close. It took him 36 years to get from his first Senate victory to the vice presidency. If he wins the presidency now, it would be 47 years from the first Senate swearing in until Inauguration Day. Of course, it's possible the 14-year rule, the too long in the Senate rule, and the how vice presidents become president rule might all be wrong in Biden's case. If so, he can frame this headline and hang it somewhere in the White House. But don't bet on it. Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And haven't you checked out the official TST store yet? It has a variety of Patriot-themed custom t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, phone cases, and lots more. Make sure to take a look. Maybe help us out picking some products for yourself and your loved ones at great prices. It does make a huge difference to what we're doing here. Link in the description below. If you've liked this report, let us know by tapping that like button down below. Share the news among friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more news and updates on TST. I'm David Ravine, and I'll see you in the next one.